So I'm going to do a quick overview on reverse split stocks. When a company is going to do a reverse split. Now, this is something that obviously you probably want to avoid at all costs. But let me go ahead and get you a circumstantial situation, because it depends. Every single situation that you're going to be in, you're not going to have a clear, do I do this or I don't do this? You're going to have a bunch of things you need to look at. For one, you don't want to always pay attention to the articles, because those are sponsored articles unless they are by the company themselves. With that, however, the articles can be very helpful because they can create a basis of where you can learn questions, what questions you should be asking about this company, what products they're developing, when they're going to be being released, if there's any trouble or any news about a reverse split or about an offering, for instance. An offering you definitely, in my opinion, want to get out before the offerings happen, because they always take the stocks down, it seems, unless obviously the stock offering is higher than where the stock's at now, but that's very unlikely. Now, when we come to deciding whether or not a reverse split is something that we want to deal with or stick with or whatever, I'm going to mention one company in particular is Zomedica. Zomedica Pharmaceutical Corp. Now, Zomedica Corporation is a veterinarian, biotech and pharmaceutical company that is releasing, I believe it's going to be a really, really big, I want to say game changer, but everybody uses that. Sounds kind of fish or whatever, stupid. Anyways, it's a really, really cool tech. I also read something that they're going to try to use that tech and move it, over to the human side. Cuervo is the company that's developing it. And that's where I saw the information on that. So yes, it does sound like they're going to move that tech to be able to be used over for the human market as well. Now, also take in mind, the human market versus the veterinary market. You're looking at pets versus humans, okay? The competition with this market is so much less than if it was a human market. Now, with Zomedica is a newer company. I believe it was 2013 they were founded. 2017 was their IPO, or 2018 when they went public. They're currently on Amex, and I believe they hold an IPO position on NASDAQ, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to make sure, but I do believe that is true. Which Amex and NASDAQ actually used to be the same thing. Anyways, all that's just going into things we don't need to talk about right now. So, reverse split. Zomedica is not going to for sure go through a reverse split. So do not think that. They also are voting on a buyback. And they also had mentioned doing a buyback right after their last offering. So what my guess would be that happened is they got rid of their CFO, and they have the lady that's in there now in his place, Rampertab, who's now at another company. But anyways, point being, the buyback. So let's look at supply and demand, okay? Easy, right? The less supply you have, the more demand for it. The less demand, the more supply, obviously. So a buyback is not a reverse split, but it is still a consolidation of shares. That is essentially, that's what you want to see. Now, the only issue that could arise from something like that, or an issue that could arise, anything can happen, is that if they buy back the shares that they originally put out there for a reason of, and this is another thing too, when offerings, a whole thing of, should I buy into that company during the offering or not? Because that too, if a company is 15 years old and they're doing a buy or an offering, and and they've had these products that have been in development for years and years and years, obviously this company is not going anywhere. And I would be very, very, very weary of making any investments into that company. In fact, I do not personally recommend investing in any penny stock whatsoever. Zomedica, for me, is a literal, like, it's a unicorn stock for me, I would call it, because it is a company. It doesn't have a lot of competition going to market. It doesn't have a lot of FDA hoops to jump through, kind of a thing. So, as far as the verification and development, it's going to be a lot quicker than it would be for a human market. So I do see them actually getting out there, like they have it showed in their pipeline, being released 2020. Yeah, they may not see revenue from it till 2021, but people, come on. You literally have to think, where in the world would you make this money anywhere else? You don't. So you also couldn't lose, probably. Well, yeah, you can. Anyways, but risk reward, you can minimize your risk and maximize your reward by doing your due diligence. So reverse split, do I recommend staying in a stock when it happens? It depends on the company. Zomedica right now, with the price it's at, holy crap, I would jump all over it at this price for sure. In fact, I'd jump all over it all the way up to 17, 18 cents, really. Because this company, I just have all faith that this company is going to do some great things. It's going to have some, it's offering some great tech. It's going to be game-changing tech, I guess you would call it. Anyways. Okay, so let me see. Let me make sure that I answered all these kind of questions here real quick. So yeah, so you got to look at a ton of different things when it comes to an RS. I know one, I think that just did it was Biocept. Another one I think I keep seeing mention about is Ship or Synergy or something. I believe it's an offshore ship oil rig thing. Anyways, so yeah, so mainly a reverse split for a company like Zomedica, I would be okay with it. Of course, I would prefer, that's saying if I was already in the stock, I would hold the stock. If the stock goes up at all, I'm going to be honest, if I can get my money out of it, what I put in it, and even maybe a little bit more, or even if I don't make it all back before a reverse split, I would maybe consider pulling out. Only because actually, you know what? That's a real hard one. Let's just put it this way. I would definitely, like, for a company like Zomedica, I would definitely jump into that stock right now. Reverse split or not, doesn't matter. Buyback, sweet. The meeting's being held September 25th. After that, for a reverse split, say for like Biocept, I would be very iffy. But that one definitely is got a lot more, I've got a lot more faith in that one than I do, say, the Synergy company. I don't trust those companies. I'm not big on investing in utilities, but they can be lucrative. So anyways, yeah, I guess that covered it, I hope. Okay, so reverse splits, depends on the company, depends on what's going on. Look at financials. In fact, let me give you a small list real quick to look at to help with that. So what you want to look at least to minimize your risk, look at the previous trends of the stock, how it's been trading, the industry that it serves. So if it's a tech industry, is it pharmaceutical industry? Is it biotechnology? Is it utilities? Is it gold or minerals? Is it defense? Is it what? What is it? Okay. And is that industry, is it booming right now? Is it a good one to be in? Is it not necessarily maybe the best one to be in now, but say it's going to be amazing down the road in 6 months? This would be a great time, right? Before it gets inflated to prices that are higher than it's ever been. So yeah, so with that, you want to look at the trends, the industry. You want to definitely check out the company's financials. Make sure that they are not being frivolous, handling their money and funds correctly. You want to check out the management team, the whole company, as a whole, in short. So all that stuff. Yeah, and just again, take sponsored ads with a grain of salt, because they are literally, they're trying to pump you for these companies. I mean, obviously not all the time, and it's not all that, but I mean, you have to have advertisement, but some of it. So be careful. The stock's going to be there tomorrow, and if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So don't jump from stock to stock. Research it first. Do as much research as you can. Write down the questions that you normally ask yourself, so you can continually go over those every day, every time you buy a stock, whatever it is. Just be careful, because there's a lot of manipulation out there, and a lot of people losing money. So good luck, but you won't need it if you do your homework. Okay, bye.